Video is saying, all right, there's only one clear answer to what the best Final Fantasy is, okay? And that answer is...
So when the metal hit his mug, he just sunk in place. 100K Holla, chillin' Bahamas. Come home to your crib and throw in your mama.
What is good, HollaSquad? We are the latest squad on the YouTube platform. Listen, today we are back with another reaction. And if you don't think Final Fantasy VII is the clear answer, go ahead and debate me. I got all the debates. It is number one. He was number one. Y'all watch SpongeBob, but we got a Final Fantasy 15 review on our hands here. All right, I'm gonna be honest, didn't finish the game. This came out right when I was taking like YouTube serious. I might go back and play it, but that's why we got Max for today. Okay, let's get it.
There are spoilers in the video. Spinal Stagnancy 15 is one of the most unintentionally funny games ever made, and I don't award that distinction lightly. It's trying its best. In this game, you play as John Fantasy, an intrepid prince of insomnia, accompanied by the BTS crew as they travel across Korea in their bid to dodge the draft and re-establish the Joseon dynasty with Jungkook as their one true king. If you can think of it, 15 has it. Do you want to conscript God to kill endangered animals, entering Super Saiyan mode to kill a sea snake, compress a mountain-sized turtle into a black hole, and break the entire game's leveling system because of lasagna? Yeah, that...
Hold up. I ain't know about lasagna. I'm about to have to go... I'm gonna go look that up.
That's possible. Is it a good game? Well, that's debatable. The original director wanted to make the game a musical, but you know, thank God they added the hyper-realistic pizza. It just wouldn't be the same. This game is one of the most baffling design disasters that I've ever seen, and showing it to you in its full absurd glory is a service to my country. With hurricane-force tonal shifts, batshit story, and utterly incomprehensible combat, there is no part of this game that didn't surprise me, although I don't think they intended that. So come along as we dive head first into the boy band madness and recall the finest game of 2016. If you know any Latin, this game...
Y'all think it was the best game of 2016? Listen, I got to where you could start time traveling. That's as far as I got on the game.
Is fucking insulting. Our story begins with the king of Korea, whose name is King Lightheaven, the 113th. I looked it up on the wiki. Their dynasty is only 2,000 years old, meaning for him to be there, every single male king must have fucked at 17. Maximum. He's busy disowning his son and our protagonist, Knight Lightheaven, in hopes that he will get some blonde bitch pussy. Noctis, my son, I have erectile dysfunction. It's here that we're introduced to our buddies, the BTS boys, and all of their unique mechanics. Quicksilver is a light Slovenian femboy who exclusively fights through small arms fire. Fire Knowledge is a smart calculating man who shanks you with rusty knives. And Sword Friendship is a burly reliable bear who hits people with giant chunks of metal. With our friends assembled in our car out of gas, it's time to begin the game in earnest. Now, it's surprising to me that they actually struggled to push their car, since Noctis can deflect punches from a fucking giant. This sets in motion a series of quirky adventures to satiate the bloodlust of Park Ji-min. It's time to talk about that combat, or better known as a 19th century safari. Take that, Cecil the Lion. When it works, you're dashing between enemies, performing mid-air backflips, and teleporting around fast enough to burn my graphics card. For the other half, though, it's imbalanced as fuck. Let's go on a quest to explore a level 20 cave. In order to get there, you'll have to drive down the street, take the path, and fight the mandatory level 54 Giga Snake.
I remember.
The bosses are level 53. I'm not even 10 hours in. Fortunately, you could run right past it and straight into the instant kill crabs. I'm convinced they put this here by accident. There is no reasonable explanation. So how do we stop getting crabs like your dad? Noctis has 4 slots to use 4 weapons of various movesets, including swords, bigger swords, London resident, hydraulic press channel, rock on a stick, gun, and magic. Mind Freak is pretty cool, but bullets work a little faster. Each enemy reacts differently to each weapon, forcing you to switch up your playstyle.
Yo, my man out here trying to do the one tap joint got pieced up. Mad blades put in them.
Or alternatively, just hold down the sword button and watch the game play itself. I can just feel the variety. But by far, the best weapon in your arsenal is the Point Warp, which allows you to travel arbitrary distances at will. Oh, buddy, hang on. I see a pixel like 5 miles away. The primary contributor towards the game actually being fun is Point Warp, even when I use it to cheese the game. Not to mention, the animation budget is absurd. Every time you hit someone's back, every single time you parry a boss, for every boss, there is a unique animation. You can really feel the animator's sweat as he nears the end of his 13-hour Japanese workday at the Square Enix Insane Asylum, leaping 60 feet to stab a dog, a mid-air sword fight, and a triple backflip to dunk a crocodile. It's all here, and it's really janky. A common theme for Final Fantasy 15 is that it's fun when it works, but it doesn't often work. So before our thrilling performance in a fucking Dongduchon, I'm losing my mind. It's important that we go over the rest of our thrilling Korean lore to answer such questions as, why has our dad sent us to Nevada? Why is the cow big? Why won't a virtual YouTuber Tsunamaki Watami collaborate with me?
Hey, y'all give my man his collab, you know what I'm saying?
There are 6 gods or some shit, and they made humans for fun. Big mistake. These include Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the Wizard, the Snake, the Unsafe for YouTube, Unlimited Blade Works, and the...
Oh, I've never seen Sheva in Final Fantasy 15. But I will see her in Rule 34 tonight, all right?
God of breakdancing. The Tango Totem in particular was very helpful and told us how to turn on our stove. From this, the beautiful and powerful civilization of Solheim had risen to try and kill the gods immediately, presumably with enough nukes to make Belka look like Clown College. This, of course, forces the dancing deity to strike them down, creating demons and alternative political philosophies. This pisses everyone off and begins the First Korean War, forcing the gods to...
That's one thing I didn't like about the game. I didn't know how to, like, make the summons come, so... I didn't like that too much.
give the kings of Lucis some cool swag and the K-pop crystal, forever dividing humanity and preventing the manifestation of white people juche. So after the defeat of the Samba Scourge, the gods took a nap for like several thousand years, leaving the maintenance of Earth to the kings of Lucis, apparently seeing no problem with this. So anyways, the Niflheim Empire just takes over the entire planet using an army of juche demon terminators. Their new goal is to kill all of the gods again, except this time while they're sleeping, and by the time our game begins, the kingdom of Lucis has retreated to one city. I guess the god's blessing is just shit. Now, what do you think happens the literal instant that you leave the city for an arranged marriage with the Empire? Do I hear skydiving?
There'll be no wedding bells for today.
What is going on?
I mean, I guess the plot has to happen sometime.
I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle.
This emotional and life-changing moment affects our protagonist greatly. Everything he's ever known has been destroyed, and nothing will ever be the same again. Hey, Noctis, you want to go ride some boids? Ho ho! It's almost enough to make you forget about your dead family. With our lives permanently destroyed, it's time for Noctis to begin the true trials of a king. The first step of which is to find all of the tombs of previous kings spread throughout the world and steal their shit so we can enter Super Saiyan mode. Thanks, Grandpa. Your ashes were delicious. This is when the problems begin, and they don't end. Director Tetsuya Nomura was, to put it lightly, a fucking batshit. Again, he tried to make the game a musical because he watched Les Miserables once. There is no escaping the ghost of cut content. It has so many unique and amazing locations that you see one time. It's as if the game has
That's facts. There's mad things you've seen once in that game, bro, and never seen again.
too much money, but the budget had to be prioritized by fucking Cleverbot. This took 10 years and 2 engines to make. When you play the main quest, it introduces some new characters in elaborate cutscenes and then kills them in a minute. You would think the open world would be some relief from this, but no, the car is on rails. They didn't even program driving. What does that remind you of? Speaking of things that the developers forgot to do, side quests. There's a few of them, but out of the 206 possible activities, there were only 2 that were good. How can this be? Well, the best way to describe
Like
why
the
is to
hunting
engage
thing, I like the bounty. I like the bounty. I forgot the other side quest.
in one, and I think this market looks like a great place to start. Hey, what's up, king of the planet? So I was driving my car, and I just so happened to kill my wife by crashing into a tree at 90 miles per hour. Sounds good. I need you to go find my mangoes. You're fucking what? I left them in the truck after killing my wife in a car crash.
I don't think your problem is mangoes.
Can you find my mangoes?
All right.
We'll just go find the mangoes. Wow, look at these bees. Thank you for finding the mangoes that I lost when I killed my wife.
Okay.
A while back, I lost a few apples on the side of the road while driving at 90
Okay,
miles
let's go
per
do
hour.
that.
Apparently, because they didn't have enough money to waste, Square Enix put a Cup Noodles quest into the game. The characters actively rant about the deliciousness of cup noodles.
Yo, cup noodles be busting though. All right, if you pick regular noodles over cup noodles, you're done. Now them like plastic box noodles with the little, you know what I'm saying? You poured it, and it's like it's still technically a cup though that you cooking it in. It's just a
Easy to make whenever you've got a craving, and they're delicious to boot. If you take something already delicious like cup noodles and add in the finest, freshest ingredients, what do you get? The ultimate flavor experience.
So heading through
boy, cup noodles. You put a little bit of butter in there, a little bit of hot sauce. You know what I'm saying? You in there, bruh. I'm telling you.
the maps,
I'm a noodle aficionado, okay?
Disguised hallways on our disguised train. We travel between locations, interspersed between vast stretches of absolute nothingness. This game already looks great. Our gang rides to the city of Lestalem in search of Noctis's ibuprofen. Fortunately, this well-dressed and not suspicious individual has all of the answers that we need. This is Arden, a man who is incapable of speaking normally.
Aren't nursery rhymes curious things?
What? He is willing to lead us to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's medicine cabinet, and we accept without hesitation. So after entering his white van with free My Chemical Romance CDs, we arrive at Dwayne "The Rock" skyrocketing rockslide rocket sprocket. I came here to clear a headache. So for Noctis to gain the god's power and defeat the Empire for good, he has to beat half of them up. Kind of like the Empire does, but he's the correct family of inbred designer dogs, so it's different. A prolonged and painful fight against Dwayne's masturbation arm ensues, really highlighting this game's focus on spectacle at the expense of my sanity. But eventually, we scratch his arm into respecting us, and he McFucking kills everyone in a 90-mile radius.
Hello bitches, I'm with the Empire now, and furthermore, I've stolen your car. Get the fuck inside or this volcano will turn your penis inside out.
You know, it's very nice that Arden gave us a lift up twice. I wonder if we'll see more of him. Next on the list of gods to impress is Gandalf, who just kind of lives in the woods that we've already explored. I think they ran out of time for this one, because the only thing standing between us and him is one cave that you walk through it. Maybe romance a snake or two. Oh man, guys, she's real cute. I don't know what to say. Bada bing, bada doodle. We've got his approval. That took like 20 minutes. This game is more rushed than a fucking Chinese high-rise. From this moment going forward, the game has effectively
I
destroyed
feel like I moved through the game so quick, you know?
all possible tension by having Noctis be explicitly assisted
This was actually one of the first gameplays I had on my original channel, you know what I'm saying? If you a real OG, you would know that though.
by fucking Zeus. Final Fantasy 15 becomes a game about the gods being lazy. How's this for a mechanic? The god's help is summoned randomly. Oh man, Noctis, you fighting like 90 demons down there? You can handle that, good luck. Don't worry, Noctis, I will be the one to save you from these 3 very threatening giraffes. You can thank me later. You know, we've gotten pretty used to this game. The vast open world, the fruit truck incident, or having a car. We'll throw that shit in the trash. This game turns from an open world adventure into a linear corridor halfway through, although that's giving the open world a lot of credit. I don't think I'm going to miss this guy. From this point onward, we are eternally trapped in the cut content zone. The devs made a nearly perfect recreation of Venice with no side quests in it. Look at the detail of this town, the beautiful architecture, the unique art. I was there for 10 minutes. Once. It's actually impressive that they're willing to waste this much time. Even
That's crazy that they did that, bro. They need like a... How was the Final Fantasy 15 DLC? I definitely ain't played out.
the NPCs in this town are just fucking off. The bartender for the only restaurant in the city talks like he wants to fucking eat you. What the fuck do you mean, Eldritch Abomination, Satoshi? Get back to the office right now and animate another 100 backflips. So after owning God 1 and God Nude, it's up to Noctis and the Bacchus to head to the Imperial capital and retrieve our K-pop crystal. That is until Arden shows up and he derails the entire fucking plot.
Sup, bitch?
It turns out that Arden isn't just with the Empire, he is the fucking Empire. Oh, and also he can teleport, is literally immortal, has stabbed my wife, and also is going to kill the fucking sun. All that we have to do to stop him is enter the city of Pyongyang and endure his weaponless cock and ball torture dungeon. This man has gone from helping us to literally trying to gas me. Of course, doing so to trap Noctis in a pocket dimension for 10 years and fight the sun. That way, he can kill the gods and the true king while he's a consenting adult. If this all sounds confusing or stupid, don't worry, I don't have time to explain. You're totally free to watch the 5-episode anime series, animated episode Arden Prologue, all 4 character DLC, and the full Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15 movie if you want the full context for what's
Bro, I'm about to watch a breakdown video on YouTube, bro. I have to figure out what Final Fantasy 15 is about.
happening. That's a very ambitious of you, Square Enix. In fact, they retroactively updated the game to contain scenes from the movie because it just didn't make enough sense. Now it's up to us to fight Arden in the future. This is of course the part where the developers
This is where I got in the game. I said, nah, I'm good, bro. died like 10 times. I said, this is where I stop.
They had too many bosses, since this game was planned as well as the Great Leap Forward, so they make us fight like 5 in a row. That is some pacing. Not to mention, they're all very difficult. One might say absolutely unplayable. As it turns out, valuing your own time by not playing the shitty fetch quests gives your experience vastly below what is expected. We aren't even strong enough to fight the big snake. I could go back and do some quests if I was fucking stupid. No, we're going to do something much worse.
What is that? How
So
to
what
break
you're going to want
the
to do
entire
is
game.
travel back in time to Venice and endure the 5 minutes of gondola riding. You cannot skip it. We do this to head to the cannibal restaurant and dine on some photorealistic lasagna. This step is non-negotiable. Next, what you're going to want to do is time travel further in the past to Nevada. Watch out for this guy. He might try to steal the platinum chip. Go and initiate the quest where you're supposed to fight the huge fucking Blastoise for 2 hours. You can try to summon God, but he is powerless against the big turtle. Congratulations, you've unleashed unstoppable death into this world, and now it's up to you to destroy it. This is the Ring of the Lucio. You get it after visiting the 2-hour ball twisting dungeon and can be used to compress enemies out of existence. For no discernible reason, it works on the turtle, instantaneously killing him via compression into a stellar object. That is a lot of XP. Now, XP is
What?
applied only when you sleep and can be enhanced by sleeping in a hotel, which is multiplied by 3 if you eat lasagna. It's time to travel back to the future into an alternate fucking timeline where we've gone Garfield, and by editing the past in Nevada, we have altered the future. Congratulations, you now have the XP equivalent of 3 giant turtles. The game is over. Why even play anymore? All that's left is to strut back to the Arden Gauntlet and let the game play itself. Just take caution when time traveling that you do not get absorbed into the
said
eternally
let the
falling
game play
hellscape. Now
itself.
we can break through Arden's big cocoon using the help of each god individually. Although, they apparently can't just kill him because that would free me from this nightmare. Your wife's ghost also shows up, and I'm gonna be honest, I forgot that Luna Freya was in the game because she's a walking plot device. The game has no autonomous women in it. Very based of you, Japan. As for the ending of the game, it's everything that the developers had left over. Big Dog, fuck it, he's in the game now. Breakdancing man, yeah, do it, just put him in the geometry. Hey Noctis, I need your help to retrieve 10 metal after I killed my wife. I thought I was done with this. And of course, killing Noctis's grandparents with a fucking bazooka. So by the time we've reached what is essentially the Joker, I can say with confidence that I am fucking done. It's very fitting that Arden's only motivation as a villain is to personally screw with me until the final battle, because that's exactly what the game has accomplished. The game even says it out loud.
Spite's all that's kept him going.
Really, you're gonna go with just spite. Killing Arden is pretty much a formality at this point, only made more expedient when God gets off his ass and actually helps me by ruining the final boss fight. What a cool mechanic. Much like the rest of the game, I don't know what's happening, and yet I'm winning. Now, as I watch Noctis painfully throw his body onto the various
Today's
things of light,
subject, unconventional warfare tactics.
the game even feels the need to be so ridiculous and dramatic that Noctis McFucking kills himself so that he can double kill Arden in the
Whoa. Yeah, you gotta really hate somebody to do that. Kill him, kill yourself, kill them again in afterlife.
afterlife. But really, that's just part of the charm. Final Fantasy 15 realizes to some extent just how ridiculous it's being. The fact that it doesn't care for even a second how much money it throws away, how over the top the set pieces are, or just how fucked up the pacing is kind of endearing. The game has altered genres hour by hour. It has both too much money and not enough money. It's both an open world game and a string of set pieces. And the combat is great. Or it's terrible. One could say it depends on your outlook. There's this moment near the end of the game where it asks you to reflect. It's taken pictures of you throughout the game, and I was going to choose the one that exemplified my playthrough. I didn't think that it meant much until the final cutscene where Noctis shows a picture of the massive turtle to his wife, looking fondly back at all the broken experiences he went through, and I burst out laughing for several minutes. Nothing will ever describe to you what the game is about more than that. This product is not worth any of your money. It will never be. But holy shit, maybe it was worth my time.
That's crazy. I still got it in a box for the Xbox One. You know what I'm saying?
I would like to thank the Illuminati for funding this channel with their reptilian dark money to prevent my starvation. If you would like to contribute to the channel and ensure the reign of our lizard overlords, you can.
Oh, okay. Listen. Clearly, Final Fantasy 15 is not at the top of the list. All right. The only other acceptable answer of the best Final Fantasy movie I'm willing to accept is Final Fantasy 9. All right. Besides them two, I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. Holla, but what about Final Fantasy 6? Get it out of here. What about Final Fantasy? Get it out of here. 7 is 1A, 9 is 1B. Everything else is lower than that. But y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff.
Yeah, nigga, I was broke. I ain't have a penny, I was ready to kick a dope. Lay your ass on the floor, taking everything about this bitch before I go. Niggas talking all that gang when the sugar pumping through their main vein. Swerve on them like a lane change. Fuck with youngin' cause we on the same thing. Granny died, it was 4:45, maybe 7.